Hi guys, Tom here, America's favorite hoarder. A friend turned me on to this pile of wire, actually a dumpster at a building where they were doing a rehab. And I pulled out this wire, so I'm going to chop the ends off. This is my elevation for the afternoon, morning. It's called Dirty Little Freak. It's a very good beer. It's got chocolate, coconut, caramel in it. Put that off to the side. I'm going to cut all the ends off of these wires and put them in this wonderful bucket. So like the bucket says, let's do this. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but I'm going to pause it, start chopping, and come back and show you the results as I go along, or possibly finish. Alright, I just pulled this out of the ball of wire. It is a power supply, what appears to be for maybe a laptop, or wink wink, a Yamaha organ. Not really a Yamaha organ, but I just happened to find one that needs a power supply, and I'm currently using something a little bit bigger than this. But it does have a connector for that on the back. So I'm going to try that later. If anybody's wondering what I'm chopping this wire with, one of the many pairs of scissors that I happened to find in a trash can. I've got about 10 of these. I broke one the other day. I threw it in the bucket over there. And that's all scrap metal there. But I've got a bunch of these. They're just good for chopping thin wires. They're easier to use than wire snippers, in my opinion. It cuts through this stuff pretty easily. So, with that being said, put a pause it again and go back to cutting with my handy dandy scissors. Cut the ends off with the scissors, ball it up, throw it in the bucket. That's all I'm doing here. I got lots of wire. I'm just going through it pretty quickly. Got lots of little pieces, big pieces. Got some ribbon cable. Already got the ends cut off of that one. These things are just throwing the scrap metal bucket over there, kind of close to the bucket, if I can get it kind of close. And keep on cutting. Sorry about that. Trying to work on the way to scissors. Well, maybe not as easy as actual wire cutters, but it does work. Roll it up. Other end's already gone. Give it a twist, and in the bucket it goes. Some of these are more cumbersome than others. They've got the little connectors on the end. I just chop them off, throw them in the scrap metal bucket. Little electronic cables and such. Try to get as many of these ends off the cables as possible. You get more money if they're clean wires. Not so much clean wires as clean wires, but insulated wires with no ends on them. Yes, I'm listening to Rush Limbaugh. It's quite cumbersome at times. I'll be back. It would seem the hardest part of this whole ordeal is removing these zip ties. This was all set up in a small office, and when they had these data cables and Cat5 cables running along the wall, they did a very good job of zip tying together, keeping them out of the way. So that's the hardest part of this, just cutting all these little plastic zip ties. Not so much cutting the ends off the cables. Whoever actually removed the cables already did have to work for me, so I thank them, whoever they were. Back to the nonsense. Moving right along nicely. It really isn't taking any time at all, much less than I expected. Listening to the radio, relaxing on a rainy day outside, trying to do a little work to keep the stuff out of the, not the scrapyard, but the landfill, where it would have ended up, most likely. Hopefully, with the economy the way it is and all these jobs shut down, the price of oil is so low that it's cheaper to pump the new stuff out and make new stuff than it is to recycle. hopefully, even though the price is down, there will still be a recycling industry. Think about it logically, people. Nobody's going anywhere. Oil prices down, the gas prices are down because nobody's going anywhere. Colleges are closed, there's no sports, nothing else to do for me other than go to work because I have one of those essential jobs. But finally got a day off. Wanted to get this out of the way because I just found it yesterday. And I had a little bit of extra stuff left over. But really take a logical look at what's happening. It may be time for an uprising. Back to my cutting. Oh no, so much for that idea. Another catastrophe. I will have to go back to some wire cutters. But another item for the recycling bucket. Pile. Hoard. Ends cut off. Wrap it around your hand quickly. Of course, I'm stepping on the other end while trying to hold the foam between my knees. There you go. Give it a squeeze. Give it a little twist. And the bucket of goose. That's all that's left of that pile. Well, it's done. All the wire's been chopped up, separated. Ends have been cut off, coiled up. Got a little bit of junk on the floor. It's got to be swept up down here. Some glass from a previous project. Wink, wink. TV screens. A couple little pieces of metal. For the bucket. Oh, look, it's kind of close to the bucket. But anyway, that was fun. It took me about half an hour. I've been meaning to do it. And unfortunately, like the bucket says, just let's do this. I've been putting it off, not wanting to do it till I found this cable yesterday. It gave me an incentive to do the whole bucket. So the little bit that was in there, the big pile I found yesterday, made a nice pile for the scrapyard. Until next time, keep on hoarding. That's all for now. Bye-bye.